Let's talk about how to convert from one type to another in Python. So for example, say I have my list is this list 3141, and I want to convert that into a tuple. And the way you do that is you write the name of the type that you want to convert into. And then we're treating this tuple here, we're treating it like a function. So that's why we have these parentheses here. And then the input to that function is going to be the object that we want to convert into a tuple. And so this did not change the type of my list. A hint that it didn't change is that it has this output here displayed. And so if we want to actually like get a new variable that's this tuple, because right now it's just sort of lost. If I want to get a new variable that's tuple that is equal to this tuple, I could just assign it like usual. So this is saying X should become this new tuple version of my list. And if I check type of X, it's a tuple. And if I display X, I get the same thing as was displayed up here. And in general, you can often do this between different types. For example, if you have S equals hello world, and you want to convert that into a list, then follows the same type of syntax. Instead of writing tuple parentheses to convert to a tuple, here we write list parentheses to convert to a list. And it would be totally reasonable to have expected a different output. Like you might have expected the output to be a length 2 list with hello as one value and world as the other value. But in this case, the convention in Python is to convert a string to a list by taking all of the individual characters. Okay, this is really similar to when we did for x in S, print x. Okay, we get the same. Here is H, here is E, and so on. It's not always possible to convert from one object to, or from one type to another. For example, my list is this 3141, and if I try to convert it into a dictionary, that doesn't work, because how would Python know like what should be the keys and what should be the values? I think it's not clear enough to have this function work for this kind of my list. If my list were a little different, so if it were 3A 1B, and how about 1C? And let's try, so this is a length 3 list. Here's the 0th element, here's the first element, here's the second element. And if we try to convert this to a dictionary, it's going to work because it knows that the initial element in these tuples is the key and the second element is the value. So let's check that. So here we get 3A1. So here it made the key 1 correspond to the value B, but then it also wanted to make the key 1 correspond to the value C. And since a key in a Python dictionary can only correspond to one value, the second one overwrote the first one. Maybe another example that comes up fairly often is you can convert from true, for example, to an int, or from false to an int. And this can be really helpful because sometimes if you want to count how many times does true occur in some list or some array of trues and falses, then you can just add up the values. And because Python converts from true and false to 1 and 0 in this way, like adding up the integer versions of these Booleans will be the exact same as counting how often true occurs. And because of this, you can also do things like 4 plus true, and that gives us 5. That doesn't come up so often, but the counting version does come up very often. Okay, I think that is enough for this video. It was just meant to introduce this general syntax of converting from one type, like from a Boolean, to, in this case, an integer. And the way you do it is you take the name of the type you want to convert to, and then you write that together with parentheses. And inside the parentheses, you put the object that you want to convert. Okay, that's where I'll stop. Thank you for watching.